Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. My dear students, welcome to your class Essay class. And I'm so glad to meet you. This is our second meeting. And today we're going to start with our first class as what is an essay and the main three parts of the essay and so on. First of all, before we start the class, I want each of one of you to pay attention to me now and look at this textbook. This is your main textbook, okay? And I want you to buy this main textbook as well. It's called Writing Academic English. Writing Academic English, and this is your 4th edition. And the author of this book is Alisa Oshima and Anna Hogo. Okay? You can find these books anywhere in the libraries because it's very popular. Okay, so remember, Writing Academic English. Why I have chosen this book? Because it follows a step-by-step approach. It gives you clear examples about how to write an essay, and also it gives you examples with academic contents, and mainly because it gives you a lot of examples and illustrations how to write and how to start writing a good essay. Okay, for today's class, our first class, we will actually cover the following topics. First of all, what is an essay? The three parts of an essay, the three main parts of an essay, as you know it, introduction, body, conclusion. And we have some hints about two important elements in essay writing. They are called unity and coherence. Then in our third section of this class, we will actually narrow our discussion to discuss in details the introductory paragraph, only the first main part of the body, of an essay. For next classes, we will actually discuss the body paragraphs, and then we will assign a class for the conclusion. So for today, once we start discussing about the introductory paragraph, we will cover something like general statement, thesis statement, and different kinds of models of introductory paragraph. At the end, the last slide is just for your homework to do it at home. Okay, let us first start with our definition. What is an essay? An essay actually is a piece of writing. A piece of writing having several paragraphs. Several paragraphs, they are long. These paragraphs are long. Okay? An essay should have one topic, just like a paragraph. You remember in your classes, writing classes in the past, you take writing 1 or 2, you have some classes about paragraph, right? And you know that each paragraph has one main idea. The essay has one topic. And this one topic, there are many ideas. You can imagine now, okay? I will show you the diagrams, it will be more clear. Okay, so since in essay you discuss too complex topic, too long topic, you need to write more than 2 or 3 paragraphs. Okay, so no more difficulty you will encounter about the essay, because just like a paragraph, essay is no more difficult than a paragraph. How? But because an essay, it is several paragraphs. If you write a good paragraph, I am pretty sure you can write a good essay. The only difference between paragraph and essay is that essay is longer, but I'm pretty sure they have the same organization. نفس الترتيب. Introductory paragraph, body paragraph, and conclusion. Okay. In this diagram, it shows you the main 3 parts of an essay. As you can see here, you should first put the title of an essay in the middle of the page. As you can see, here is the page and you should put the title in the middle. And in this sample, it shows us the main three parts of an essay. The first one is the introduction. As you can see, there should be a space at the beginning of the introductory paragraph, as well as in the main body and in the conclusion. There should be space, مسافة, 2 inches, 5 centimeters, or less than that. Okay, so the introduction, you've heard of this term a lot. This is the first paragraph of an essay. It explains the topic with general ideas. General ideas. It also has a thesis statement. This thesis statement gives you the main idea, the author's point of view. And it usually comes at or near the end of the paragraph. It's either here or here. This is what we call thesis statement. A thesis statement means the main idea, the author's main idea in this essay. So here's the first the section in essay, introduction. The second one is the main body. In the main body, the paragraphs explain and support the thesis statement. So this one supports the thesis statement. It gives you examples, facts, more details about to support your thesis statement, to tell people that you are right, okay, or someone else is wrong. So the main body gives you explanations, details, examples about the thesis statement. It comes between the introduction and the conclusion. So it comes between both of them, the introduction and the conclusion. Finally, the conclusion right here. This is the last paragraph in an essay, of an essay. It is summarizing, it summarizes the main idea, or restate the thesis statement right here. So it summarizes or restate the thesis statement you've mentioned in the first paragraph. So here is a diagram, simple diagram, showing you the main three parts of your of an essay, of any academic essay. Well, before we move on, I have some hint for you. You should know that any academic essay has a unity and coherence. Unity and coherence are very important elements in writing. Very important elements in essay writing. Well, unity means a paragraph or paragraphs discuss it's a paragraph, and only one paragraph that discusses one main idea from beginning to the end. For example, if you have this paragraph, to make it united, or to have the unity, to apply the unity element on it, you need to talk about, for example, the advantages of Toyota, of having a Toyota car in this one paragraph. There is no need to discuss the disadvantages. Okay? So in paragraph you need to discuss only one main idea from the beginning till the end. You have to write about one main idea. Well, coherence can be achieved by two ways. First of all, you need to notify the transition words or signals and repetition of key nouns. If you find these two elements in an essay, you should actually you should know that this essay is cohesive. These paragraphs are cohesive, okay? And coherence is actually the sentences. It means like sentences must hold together. That is, the movement from one sentence to the next sentence should be logical and smooth at the same time, without sudden jumps. There are two ways, as I said, to achieve coherence: repeated keywords or key nouns. Second, transition signals. Transition signals might be like these words that I guess you are familiar with them. For example, if in one paragraph you want to introduce additional idea, you can use words like in addition, furthermore, moreover, besides, also, to, and. Okay, if you want, for example, to introduce a contrasting idea, opposite idea, you can use, for example, on the other hand, in contrast, however, instead, still, nevertheless, but, while, whereas, and so on. If you want to introduce alternative or choice, you can say otherwise, or if, or unless. If you want to introduce a restatement or explanation, you can use in fact, indeed, that is. If you want to list an order, to list an order, like say 1, 2, 3, 4, first, second, third, next, last, finally, the first, the second, the next, all of these, how to list an order. Okay, so if you find these words in one essay, no, it's cohesive, مترابطة, مرتبة, organized. For example, you can use for example and for instance to introduce an example. If you want to summarize or to conclude something, you can say in brief, in conclusion, indeed, in short. And finally, to introduce a result, you can say as a result, accordingly, as consequent, therefore. So all of these are transitional signals. Wherever you find in any say transition words or signals, it means these paragraphs are cohesive. They are interconnected and organized. هذه معناها. Okay? So, and also if you want to write, you need to use these signal words. If I were you, I will go to the dictionary or to the internet and find more information and examples about how to use transition signals. You can go use your dictionary, for example, and find the use of in addition, on the other hand, otherwise, finally, and so on. So please, try to memorize them and use them. Okay? If you use them, you will memorize them. Let us move on now. In this example, we are going to label the main three parts of an essay: the introduction, the body paragraphs, and the conclusion. I'm not going to read every single line. No, because you can, me and you, we can identify the main three parts without reading the whole thing. We can just look at the outline of this essay, the format. As you can see here, usually the first paragraph is called introduction or introductory paragraph. And this introduction, let me remind you, we have general statements, general ideas about the essay, and the thesis statement. And you can probably find the thesis statement at or near the end of the paragraph, like here. Okay? So you can find it right here. The thesis statement. Okay. And in these two paragraphs, we have the body. And the body, as I told you, supports and give details or examples about the thesis statement. It gives about information or details or examples about the thesis statement, which is underlined by blue. The final one and the last paragraph is the conclusion. Here is the conclusion. And in the conclusion, you summarize or restate the thesis statement. You restate it, you mention it again, you say it again. Okay? So this is what we call conclusion. So it was very simple task for me, and it should be for you, to identify the introduction, body, and the conclusion, and the conclusion. Okay, let's move on now. Here is also another example. It's also mentioned, and you can find it in your new textbook, Writing Academic English. So please buy it. In this example, you can see the here at the margin the main parts of an essay. We have the introduction paragraph. In this introduction paragraph, we have the thesis statement, which it comes right here. This is what we call thesis statement. The main idea. Here is the general idea about a thesis, about the essay. Okay? And here we have the body paragraphs. See, in the body paragraphs, you may have 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs to support the thesis statement. So all of these paragraphs support the thesis statement. Okay. And here at the end, we have the conclusion. We have the concluding paragraphs. This is a concluding paragraph. So it is a very simple task for you now to identify the introduction, the body paragraphs, and the concluding paragraph. Now here we have some some examples, some questions about this paragraph. The first question, how many paragraphs does this essay contain? It's very simple. I ask you now, how many paragraphs this essay contains? You definitely will say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we have 6 paragraphs in this essay. Again, how many paragraphs are in the body? فقط في البody. If you look at the body right here, let me just, if you look at the body, how many paragraphs we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 paragraphs in the body. Let us move to the second question. It asks you to underline the topic sentence of each body paragraph and double and underline the topic. Again, the topic sentence usually comes at the beginning of each paragraph, but not always, usually. Okay? So if I ask you to identify, to underline the topic sentence of each paragraph in the body, you will definitely say, in paragraph 1, first of all, Native American leaves a permanent mark on the English language. Here is a topic sentence. You can locate it at the beginning of the paragraph. If we move to the second paragraph, and I ask you, what is the topic sentence of this paragraph? you will read, although the vocabulary of English is the area that shows the most Native American influence, it is not the only area of U.S. culture that has been shaped by contact with Native Americans. Art is another important area of important Native American contribution. Then we have this one. We have the topic sentence right here. It's not at the beginning. It is a second sentence. By the way, although is one of the transitional words, one of the transition signals. Do you remember that? The transition signals? These transition signals help you to connect paragraphs together. Although was one of them, so it connects this one with the following. If you read the whole thing right here till here, it is actually talking about this one. It's just summarizing the point, the previous point. And art is another important one. Area of important Native American contribution is the topic sentence of paragraph 2. In paragraph 3, in addition, in paragraph 2, we start with, in addition to the language blah blah blah, Native Americans had a great and lasting influence on the peoples who arrived here from Africa, Asia, and Europe. Here is the topic sentence of paragraph number 3. Is there a transition signals? The answer is yes. In addition to. See how many transition signals we have. We have 1, we have 2, and we have here 3. In the last paragraph in the body, we have also another transition signals, which is finally. Do you understand now the use of transition signals? It actually interconnected the sentences. It makes them, these transition signals make these sentences organized. Okay? So finally is also transition signals. Where is the topic sentence? The topic sentence, it may surprise some people to learn that citizens of the United States are also indebted to the native people for their form of government. So here's also the topic sentence of paragraph number 4. Now, let us here, we have the last question. Here the last question is about the repeated key words, repeated key nouns. Okay, these repeated key nouns are one of the elements that help you to know that this essay is cohesive as a whole or not. Okay, so I want you now to notice which noun, a phrase or noun, appears 4 times in the introduction. Just look at the introduction paragraph and notice which noun, a phrase might be 1 or 2 words, are repeated, متكررة. You will come to say that North American, not North American, actually Native American peoples, blah blah blah, and here Native American peoples and Native American peoples. So how many times it's mentioned? It mentioned 4 times. So this is what we call a keyword noun. Okay, it's a keyword or a key noun. So how many times these repetitive Native Americans of phrase are repeated in other paragraphs, in the other paragraphs of this essay? I will leave this task to you. Well, as you can say, let me help you in this one. Here's we have 1, Here's we have one. Here's we have one. Here's we have one. And here's we have another one. And so on. How many times? 5 times. It's mentioned 5 times in the second paragraph. So here's the key noun of this essay. It's talking about Native Americans in general. Okay? And it also helps us to understand that the first sentence and the second and the last and the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth are interconnected. In each paragraph you will find the same noun or phrase, Native Americans. Okay, so we've done with this slide. Let us move on. For today's class, as I promised you, we were actually going to discuss the introductory paragraph in details. Okay? We will start, as you know, the introductory paragraph or introduction paragraph has 2 parts. First of all, the general statement and the thesis statement. In the general statement, you introduce the general topic of the essay. In this one, you should actually capture your reader attention, your reader interest, by using facts, wow facts, for example. And then, in the introductory paragraph, we have the thesis statement, as I showed you, as I show you in the last 2 or 3 slides, right? In this thesis statement, you state the specific topic. You also may list subtopics or subdivisions of the main topics. You may indicate the pattern of organization of the essay, and is normally located in the at or in the last sentences in the introduction paragraph, right? Let us notice this one, general statement. Notice how the general statement in the introductory paragraph in the middle will say introduce the topic. For example, if you can see the first sentence, this first sentence, number 1, till here. Okay, let me just do this. Okay, and number 1 sentence. It is talking about the arrival of Europeans and their encounter with new cultures. So this is a general topic, right? In the next sentence, it points out that there were a large difference between European and Native Americans. In the next 2 sentences, 3 and 4, it talks about the two-way cultural exchange happened between the European and the Native Americans. The rest of the paragraph, which is the last one, number 5, as a result, this is what we call thesis statement. It is specific. It gives you the direction of exchange. Okay? So this is the thesis statement. It comes almost at the end of a paragraph, of the introduction paragraph. Okay. Let us move on. In our class today, we also should know, you should also know that we have different models of introductory paragraph. We have different kind of we have different kinds of introduction paragraph. We have something called the funnel introduction. The funnel introduction begins with 1 or 2 very general sentences about the topic. Each subsequent sentence becomes increasingly focused on the topic until the last sentence, which states very specifically what the essay will be about. Writing a funnel introduction is like focusing a camera. You start, when you have a camera, with a wide picture, right? With a camera, with a wide picture, and gradually you narrow the focus, like this. so that just one object appears in the camera viewer finder. This is what we call your thesis statement. Let's go and read the following example. This is a funeral introduction. If you read this example from the beginning, moving to a new country can be an exciting, even exhilarating experience. In a new environment, you somehow feel more alive. Seeing new sights, eating new food, hearing the foreign sounds of a new language, and feeling a different climate against your skin stimulate your senses as never before. Soon, however, this sensory bombardment becomes sensory overload. Suddenly, new experiences seem stressful rather than stimulating, and life turns into discomfort. This is the feminine known as a culture shock. Culture shock is more than just jet lag or homesickness, and it affects nearly everyone who enters a new culture. Tourists, business travelers, diplomats, and students alike. Although not everyone experiences cultural shock or culture shock in exactly the same way, many experts agree that it has roughly 5 stages. And the red sentence, the sentence colored by red, this is what we call the thesis statement. As I told you, it comes at the end of the paragraph. Here we have a funeral introduction. You know the funeral, we started with general statements, general ideas about the topic, then we narrow it down. It's just like this one. It's a bigger, smaller, bigger, smaller. Here's the thesis statement. Here's general ideas, general. Here is a specific. And the specific is what we call the thesis statement. Hopefully it's clear. Let's move on. We have also dramatic, interesting, or funny story introduction. A dramatic, humorous, or otherwise interesting opening will generate interest in the reader. It is important, after all, to capture the reader's attention. For process papers, it is often useful to begin with a description of a scene that establishes the need for a process explanation. Observe how one student uses a description to set up a process essay. So you need to observe each other, these examples I'm going to show you, and see how I use a description to set up a process essay. Okay? So in this example, the rain pours down as if running from a faucet, lightning streaks across the dark, restless sky, and the thunder pounds the roof and walls of the house. All of a sudden, the wind kicks up. Trees sway madly back and forth. Loose objects are picked up and thrown all around. The house creaks and moans with every gust of wind. Windows are broken by pieces of shingle from a neighbor's roof or by loose objects picked up by the wind. Power lines snap like thread. The unprepared house and its occupants are in grave danger as the awesome hurricane approaches. Had they prepared for the hurricane, they might not be in such danger. Indeed, careful preparation before a hurricane is essential to life and property. In this statement, or in this paragraph, we have a dramatic introduction. Why? Because it has hurricanes, it has graves, it has windy weather. Okay? So these words are signals. They are signals or signs for you to identify the type or the model of the introduction. As if I ask you now here, where's the thesis statement? I'm pretty sure you will go to the end of the paragraph and see that indeed careful preparation before a hurricane is essential to life and property. So here is what we call the thesis statement. Thesis statements usually comes at the beginning of, at the end of introduction paragraph. We have also something called surprising, static, or facts introduction. Okay, if you read this paragraph, you will see it starts with, got high blood pressure, try truffle. Word about heart disease. So here it's talking about medical facts. Okay? It starts with the questions. When you start your paragraph, introduction paragraph, with a question, you actually surprise the reader. انت بتفاجئ القارئ لما تبلش الفقرة في سؤال كبير هيك. got high pressure, try truffle. هذه كله سميه medical facts introduction. Okay? Again, we have, in this paragraph, we have so many questions. We have 3 questions, 4 questions. Okay? This is to surprise you as a reader. What is the thesis statement? You usually should look at the end of the paragraph, and you can see the thesis statement, the specific idea. Okay? And we have something called historical background introduction. I guess you know that. What do you mean by historical? By the historical introduction usually starts with a date, تاريخ. مثل هذا التاريخ in 1620, in the 17th century. هذا بنسميه historical background introduction. So we have different models of introduction, okay, and how to begin your introduction paragraph. Again, but we have the same rule, one same rule, that the thesis statement comes at the end of the introduction paragraph, of any introduction paragraph. As you can see here, as the other examples, the thesis statements comes at the end of the paragraph. Now, what is a thesis statement? So this is just narrow down the camera. Okay, what is a thesis statement? The thesis statement is the last one in the first paragraph. The last one line in the first paragraph. It is actually the sentences that tells the main idea of the whole essay. It can be compared to a topic sentence which gives the main idea of a paragraph. It usually comes or near the end of the introductory paragraph. I have told you this many times, so do not please forget it. So, if I ask you, for example, to underline the thesis statement, what should you do? Should you come to this side? No. To this side? No. Is this an introductory? No. Both of these are body paragraphs. This one is conclusion. Where is the introductory? The introductory is right here. So if I ask you now, what is the thesis statement? You need first to look at the introductory thesis and then identify the thesis statement. And the thesis statement is the last sentence of the introductory right here. So this is what we call thesis statement. This is what we call thesis statement. Is that clear? I hope so. In these introductory paragraphs, underline the thesis statement, then circle the topic and draw another line under the main idea in each thesis statement. And I wish that you can know each other, like you can share your answers with a partner. That's fine for me. Okay, so if you look at the first section, A, and I ask you to read it now and to identify the thesis statement. Where is the thesis statement? Your answer should be, if your answer is this one, I guess your answer is correct. The UK can be divided into different regions that each has its own characteristic foods influenced by the culture of the people who live there. If I ask you now, what is the topic? شو هو التايتل? The topic is British food. هذا ما نسميه topic. هذا هو الموضوع عن British food. بينما هذه هنا the thesis statement. What is the main idea? The main idea that each region has its own characteristics, food influenced by the cultures of the people who live there. Well, if you look at B now and I ask you to identify or to circle around the thesis statement, I'm pretty sure you will see that the thesis statement is as the following. Here is the thesis statement. It comes at the end of the paragraph, of the introductory paragraph. And if I ask you what is the topic, it is about colas. The colas, right. And if I ask you right here to identify the thesis statement, you're going to say it's right here. Here is the thesis statement. And what is the topic of this? It is toys, gardens. Okay, how can I identify the topic? I told you can identify the topic by seeing or notifying or locating the repetitive keywords. For example, if you look at this example, you can see cola mentioned many times. Say how many times? So it's mentioned almost 3 to 5 times right here also. So here is the topic of the sentence. You can look at the repetitive and mukarrar nouns. In C as well, how can I come that twice is the, well, you can check how many times this word is. See how many times. It's mentioned more than 3 times. So this is a topic sentence. Well, this is the topic of the essay. Well, if you look right here, you will also find something about UK. UK means United Kingdom. We have a British food. We have these foods. We have a Britain. We have UK. So we are talking about UK and food. So we are talking about British food. This is how I identified the topic. I hope that's clear. Let's go on. Well, writing a strong thesis statement. Let me read this. A thesis statement gives the author's opinion or states an important idea about the topic. It should give an idea that can be discussed and explained with supporting ideas. For example, if you look at this sentence, the qualification for getting into university in my country are unreasonable. When studying a foreign language, there are several ways to improve your use of the language. These are a strong statement. Why? Because they can be discussed or explained. Well, point number 2. A thesis statement should not be a sentence that only gives a fact about the topic. How? For example, look at this example. In the northern hemisphere, the summer months are warmer than the winter months. This is not a strong thesis statement. It cannot be discussed or argued about. Point number 3. A thesis statement should not state 2 sides of an argument equally. There are, for example, look at this example right here. There are advantages and disadvantages to using nuclear power. This could be a topic sentence, but it is not a thesis statement. It gives 2 sides of an argument without giving a clear opinion of support or disagreement. It could not be a thesis statement. It could be revised like this. Although there are some advantages, using nuclear power has many disadvantages and should not be a part of our country's energy plan. This is a strong thesis statement. It clearly gives the writer's opinion about nuclear power. Now read these statements below and write, click, strong thesis statement, or F, fact only, a weak thesis statement, or N, no clear opinion, a weak thesis statement. Well, if we read right here now, The top government official in my country is the Prime Minister. This is F. Why? It is weak. It is a weak statement. Weak thesis statement. It doesn't give you, it just gives you an effect. Okay? Some people prefer digital cameras while others like traditional cameras. This is N. N means also weak thesis statement. No clear opinion. We don't have clear opinion right here. India became an independent country in 1947. This is F. This is fact. We cannot discuss it. D. To be a successful student, good study habits are more important than intelligence. Well, this is one really good, right? Number D. You can discuss that and explain it. There are several advantages of owning a car, but there are also many disadvantages. No, this is N. Why? Because you don't have a clear opinion. ما إلك رأي فيها. So this is N. Half of the families in my countries own a house. Well, this is F. Why it is F? Because it is only a fact. You cannot discuss it. Using public transport would be one of the best ways to solve the traffic and pollution problems in cities around the world. Yeah, this is a really, really strong one right here. Why? Because it gives this is a strong thesis statement, strong point of view. H. While traveling, staying in hotel offers more comfort, but sleeping in a tent is less expensive. Well, this is actually N, because there's no clear opinion. You can't give supporting or against idea equally. Okay. Classical music concerts are very popular in my country. Well, this is N. Actually F. Why? Because you don't, it's a fact. Last of all, in order to create a successful advertisement, it is necessary to consider three issues. Who should be targeted, where the advertisement should be placed, and what type of advertisement should be made. This is very strong one, because you have a clear opinion. You have not only fact, but a clear opinion. You have a strong, clear opinion. Writing thesis statement. The paragraph in the main body of an essay should always explain the thesis statement. In addition, each paragraph in the main body should discuss one part of the thesis. Okay? Look at the following thesis statement. The topics to be discussed are underlined. Now, this is a thesis statement, okay? To create a successful advertisement, it is necessary for advertisers to answer three questions. What are we selling? Who are we selling it to? And how can we make people want to buy it? Okay, we have possible topic sentences for each paragraph in the main body. The first step in creating a successful advertisement, it is to completely understand the product that is being sold and how it can be used. So this is actually a topic sentence. This is possible topic sentence. Second possibility is a second important part of creating advertisement is deciding who is expected to buy the product. And the third, finally, a way must be found to create an ad that will make people want to buy the product. So all of these topic sentences makes what? Makes very successful thesis statement. Okay? In the body paragraphs, each body paragraph, each one should discuss only one part of the thesis statement. So in the body paragraph, this is body paragraph number 1 should discuss this one. What are we selling? And body paragraph number 2 should discuss this one. And body paragraph number 3 we should discuss the third and the final part of the thesis statement. So a thesis statement may have 3 parts or 2 or 4 parts. Each body paragraph should discuss only and only one part of each. One part of each. Look at these introductory paragraphs again. What should the paragraphs in the main discuss for each thesis statement. So in the first one, we have one paragraph per region. In the UK هي region منطقة. So we have one paragraph per region describing the food, or what the food in that culture in each region is like and how it's different from the others. So this is main body paragraphs. Okay, in the second one, the main body paragraphs, three paragraphs that each discuss one of the three causes of colas bears decline in human population and growth. هذا هو المين body paragraphs. أول شيء, we look at the end, at the faces, and we predict, نتنبأ, what kind of paragraphs should we discuss in the body paragraph. In the first one, we said paragraphs supporting the thesis statement should be describing the food in other countries, in other regions. Right here we look at the thesis statement, and then we say that main body paragraph should describe the causes for cola deforestation and the human being population growth. In the last one, we look at the thesis statement right here, and then from here, right, and then we have four paragraphs that each discuss one of four elements: water, mountains, building, and bridges, and so on. How to develop a thesis statement? One way to develop a thesis statement for an essay is to write opinions you have about the topic. أول شيء بتكتب آرائك على ورقة مستقلة. Begin, said, لازم تستخدم عبارات like I think that, and complete the sentence with your opinion. I think that water pollution is a very serious issue in our region. Then remove I think that, and the remaining words make a possible thesis. See this sentence actually. Topic like diet and food. I think that a vegetarian diet is one of the best ways to live a healthy life. I think that government should restrict the use of chemicals in agriculture and food production. After you have written several opinion statements, choose the one that you would make the best thesis. And remember to decide if the sentence gives a clear opinion, states a fact, or presents two sides without a clear argument. For these, I want each of you to write your opinions starting with I think that blah blah blah. The same right here, and the same right here, and the same right here. I want to write your opinion about exercise, university study, internet, and music. Okay? Well, for today, I want you to do the following homework because we have covered so many things. The first one is part 2 in this textbook. Again, writing academic English. You should buy it. Then you should do the following homeworks. You should also watch the video and the slides, the PowerPoints. Chapter number 4, page 59, writing technique questions. We have page 61, writing technique questions. We have 62 and 63, practice 1. And we have page 64, practice 2. Please do your homeworks on time. Buy your textbook, Writing Academic English. And I will see you, inshallah, next time. Have a good day. Assalamu alaikum.